So if you haven't watched part 1 already, go watch that one and then come back. Hey everyone, so this is going to be part 2 of my dating life of the lovely men that I've dated. That is the most sarcastic thing I've ever said in my life. So, moving on, let's see, where shall we begin? We'll go to this one. We'll go to the longest relationship. We'll call him Give Back Kid. You'll get it. So this guy, I met him on a dating site, as I did the other ones, and this was actually my longest relationship, which is kind of funny. It was 6 months, which I know is not a long time, but you know, it is what it is. We met on a dating site, we were talking, we got along really well, we met in person, we hung out, we had dinner by the water and everything, and it was nice. For our first date, that's what we did. We had dinner by the water, which was really nice, and then we just talked and got to know each other better, and then we walked around like this park that was like this lake by it, so we walked around that for a while. That was cool, that was nice and everything. And so that date ended, and then we continued talking, and then I don't know how long it was until we went on our next date, but we went on our next date, and it was cute. He actually went into Whole Foods before we went to this park, and he went in there and he got a bunch of chocolates and little cupcakes and little cupcakes and chocolates and stuff, and gave it to me. I thought that was really sweet. They were really pretty. I thought that was really nice, and no guys ever done that for me, so I thought, oh, that's sweet and everything. So we did that, and we went and we ate by the water again. That's kind of what we did. I guess that was our thing, sitting by the water and eating and talking, because yeah, that's what we did and everything. So we continued doing that, and when we meet up, that's what we would do: go to Whole Foods, get some food, and then go to the water and eat and talk. And everything was going well, and I don't really have anything bad to say about him at this point. Everything was all good. And so he actually had just moved to this area recently, so all of his family was up north, so he was kind of here by himself. And so I invited him to my house for Christmas that year, and he came and he met my family and everything, and then we were in my room and we were watching a movie. I think we watched Home Alone. Yeah, we watched Home Alone, which was cool and everything. I gave him his Christmas present, and he opened it. He was like, oh, thank you. This is the good part. This is where he turns into a jerk. He takes the present. I think it was some salted caramel chocolates or something that I had given him, and he opened it. He's like, oh, thank you, and he ate a couple of them, and then when it was time for him to go, I drove him back to the bus station or something, anyway, for him to go home, and he gives me back the box of chocolates, and I was like, well, that's yours, why are you giving it back to me? So it was okay, I don't want it, you can keep it. I was like, huh? Yeah, he gave me back his Christmas present. What a charmer. How sweet. And then, anyway, I kind of just let that go. I was kind of like, okay, whatever. I guess it just wasn't his thing, and he just doesn't really know how to say. Anyway, we continued talking. I don't think we hung out anymore after that, but we kept talking all the time. We would talk on the phone and we would text each other and everything. And then one day he lived somewhere in like this area that I don't like driving to. Like if you live in California, you know that like driving to certain places, like traffic and just like getting around certain places is just like really crazy. And he lived in the one city that I like kind of refused to drive in, so he wanted me to come pick him up from there, and I was like no, because I don't like driving over there. You know, you can just get on the subway. Well, we have like a subway system here. It's not called subway, but it's called something else. But you could get on that and just come over here and I'll pick you up from the station. He was like, no, I don't want you to come. I don't like getting on there. And so I was like, well, no, I'm not going to come pick you up. And then we were texting this. And then he just kind of stops answering me. And I was like, that was weird. So I think I sent him a couple more messages and I noticed he wasn't responding. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. And he just mad. But coming to find out, he never responded, ever. So I guess that was his way of breaking up with me. He broke up with me because he was mad and I wouldn't go pick him up. Yeah, what a child. What a childish thing to do. Like, so dumb. Anyway, I fast forward to like 6 months later. I was actually on vacation in Reno, and I get a text message from him, and I was like, what? That's crazy. I was like, huh? And the weirdest thing is he called me babe, which I was like, why are you calling me? We're not together. I didn't get that. We talked for a few minutes and then just kind of ended. So yeah, that's that. And this next one, actually, I never actually dated him. I'm just gonna put this one in here because this one's short, and the last 3 I'm gonna try to put into a part 3 because these are gonna take a while. But this last guy, I met him. We were talking online. I liked his profile. You know, he seemed okay, and we were talking for a while, and we seemed to have like a lot in common, like a lot of things in common and everything, and we were talking and blah blah blah. And he wanted to message me on Kick, which I was like, okay, whatever. I don't really like messaging on Kick, but I mean, you know, so you don't have to give me your phone number, so I'm fine with it. So we start messaging on there, and then he was like, oh yeah, well here's my Instagram and my Twitter and you know, everything like that. So he gave me that, and I go and look at his Instagram, and I find out something about him that was very, very surprising. He turned out to be, wait for it, a Satanist. Yeah. So, if you don't know what that is, let me explain. A Satanist is someone who worships the devil. Not only are they, you know, completely non-religious, but just like being like maybe like atheists where they wouldn't believe in anything. No, they take it a step further. He worships the devil. He has, his Instagram was filled with all these like Satan quotes, and he has a tattoo of a pentagraph on his chest. Let me find it and I'll show you guys that. I'm gonna show him, but look, there is the tattoo on his chest. So I don't really know what that is, but apparently that's the sign of Satanism. And you know, that was kind of scary. I think that would be scary for like most people to be with somebody like that, because I mean, you know, I'm not like super religious or anything like that, but I mean, you know, I do believe in God and everything, but I'm just like, I don't know, I don't even know what to say. Like, I couldn't, and I just like, I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what do I do? So I kind of did something I hate doing, but I just kind of stopped talking to him because I I didn't know what to do. I just stopped talking to him. So I was like, what do you say? Like, how is this gonna go on? What do I say when, you know, that comes up? And yeah, so that happened, which is kind of sad because it just didn't seem like it went together because he seemed like such a nice guy. We have so much in common, and then there's that. So yeah, that is gonna be it for part 2. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Bye. I haven't dated